Can you walk me through an example, like when we would, when would something like this apply? How do we get it started? Where at in the process of the property and selling and buying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's walk through an example. So I just did a recent deal in Sacramento. It's a $1.8 million sale for a gentleman named Peter. He was about turning 70. He's out of Marin, California. He's driving to South Sacramento to manage 18 units. It's one of those deals where it's kind of hard to hire management because it's not that big. And if you do, it takes a lot of the profits away. So he's doing a lot of himself. And he's always been a hands-on guy too. So he's done multiple 1031s over the years. So he has not only debt on the property, but he also has a big capital gains tax of $500,000. And he told me, Brett, look, I didn't want to trade 18 problems for 36 problems. I made my wealth. I don't need any more of these headaches. I mean, he's banging on doors, trying to collect rents, making evictions, and he's just going, I want to be done, right? But I also don't want any more debt, and I don't want to overpay. And so into the Deferred Sales Trust, he sold it, moved all the funds into the Deferred Sales Trust, paid off all of his debt, and deferred $500,000 in capital gains tax. And here's the biggest reason why. He said, Brett, I want to buy or partner with people who are syndicate, who are operators at anytime, tomorrow, or when the deal comes up. He thinks the market's going to shift in another 1 or 2 or 3 years, and that's when he's going to be poised to strike. In the meantime, he's invested in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, diversified, liquid, conservative stuff, nothing that's too much stocks, and he's just keeping his powder dry. So it comes up in those scenarios, right? For the gentleman who's older, who wants to diversify, wants to retire. For the syndicator, it comes up because, again, we're looking for ways to attract and unlock wealth to invest in our deals. So the way we do that is we provide the solution for folks, right? The solution to be able to do that. So again, if it's a business, if it's artwork, if it's a collectible, the Deferred Sales Trust works for all of those. A 1031 is very specific. It only works for investment property. So that's where it falls short. The other part is for the people you're actually buying from, okay? So now I want you to put on the actual syndicator. I'm looking for to find the deal. And who's the ideal person to buy from? Well, it's the mom and pop who's kept the rents low, who's been very nice to the tenants, who's owned it for 20, 30, 40 years, who's fully depreciated, who doesn't want to do another 1031. They don't need any more money. They get calls all the time with, hey, why don't you do a 1031? They're going, no, I've done that for 40 years or 30 years. So you want to buy it from those folks where there's a value add for depreciation. So enter the Deferred Sales Trust. When you call them and say, hey, look, Mr. Owner, I know you don't want to do a 1031. There's actually a different way for you. It's called a Deferred Sales Trust. You've just solved their problem. They're more likely to sell to you versus anybody else. They're more likely to sell off market to you versus anybody else. They're more likely to take a lower price. Why? Because they're going to save 30 to 50% on their sale, and they're going to be liquid, they're going to be diversified, and they're not going to have to do the active real estate. So I'll pause there because I know I just said a lot, and that's probably maybe some questions you have.
You have just listened to another information-packed episode of Capital Gains Tax Solutions with Brett Swarts. We hope you enjoyed today's show and found it helpful. Visit capitalgainstaxsolutions.com to access the show notes and to access more resources. Don't forget to leave a review and join us again next time.